6 years later, having running 3 stores now, what was your biggest challenge that you learned early on that helped you be so successful today?
Oh no, it was scary. Like, it got to a point where me and Leanne were thinking, like, oh shit, I think we have to take out some extra bank loans. For the first time ever, like the cash funds of the night baker was going low to something we are not comfortable with. We were like, oh shit, we have to do something. There is this like special feeling. You created something from scratch. You created something that you make with your hands. You share with people, and you're feeding people. You can't describe that feeling, right? It's something very, very special. And when you see that their face like lights up, man, there's no feeling like it. So
If you could sum up your entire journey, the whole entire Nightbreaker journey, in just one sentence, what would it be?
it really is eat cookie, be happy, man.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mindset Journaling Podcast. My name is Vincent. I'm your host for today. Here we deep dive into the unique mindsets of our incredible guests, uncovering insights and experiences that will help inspire you and elevate your mindset. Today we're joined by Mitch.
Hello.
Welcome, Mitch. So, we know each other a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain to the audience who Mitch is?
Yeah, sure. So, my name is Mitchell. I am the co-owner of the Night Baker. So, the Night Baker is a specialty cookie bakery here in Toronto. I own it with my wife Leanne, and we're well known for our Filipino flavors. I think our most famous cookie is the ube cookie. And yeah, so now we originated our store here at College in Ossington at 825 College Street in 2019, and now we have 3 stores all around Toronto.
Amazing. The Night Baker, would you guys consider yourselves more of a cookie store? A cookie
Yeah.
store?
So for now, I think definitely we're a cookie store. I think our branding is definitely cookies. Originally, when we came up with the brand, that's why you don't see any cookie name in the Night Baker, because like other cookie companies, you always see like someone's name with a cookie or something like that. But we always wanted to be flexible with what we had, because before, when we started our business, we were actually deciding between, are we going to do cookies or cinnamon buns? Because I already had,
Cinnamon buns.
yeah, because I had a recipe for a cinnamon bun as well that like I shared with my family, and it's something very popular with my family. But we also really like cookies, and we thought when we were starting this whole business out in 2017 and we were planning it out, like we just thought that cookies was more relatable. Like people, everybody loves cookies because it's something you've made with your grandma, with your mom. It's something very nostalgic to people. And for us, because of our Filipino background, we thought that it's a good way to sort of introduce people to like some Asian or Filipino flavors. Because cookies are very disarming, because you already know what a cookie is. So maybe if you have a flavor, something like ube, which at the time in 2019 when we started, a lot of people didn't know what ube was, believe it or not. Because
What is ube for though?
yeah. So ube is a sweet purple yam, and it's only indigenous to the Philippines. So it's something that only grows in the Philippines. And how it looks, it's just like a yam. It's like a sweet potato, but it's purple. But how you bring out the flavor is you have to boil it with some water and sugar, and that's how you really get the flavors out, to extract the flavors of it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So on a long-winded story, so now going to the Night Baker, we just thought that this is a great way for us to introduce ourselves, to be able to express ourselves in our baking through the cookies. So that's why right now we are a cookie company. Cookies are all that we do. In the future, who knows? Like maybe we can expand to something else. But now definitely we're a cookie company. That's why our slogan, "Eat cookie, be happy." That's copyrighted, by the way, by the Night Baker. You can't use that.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so cookie company definitely.
Why the name the Night Baker?
Yeah, so funny thing. So before, when we were starting, so me and my wife, Leanne, we had other jobs. And essentially, when we were experimenting with our recipes, I'd go to my job, Leanne would do her job, and then after work, we'd get started with our experimentation in baking. So very, very plainly, we could only bake at night. So to put it simply, the Night Baker just stuck because that's what we did. is after work we would go bake, and then when we started the business, um, we'd go rent a commissary kitchen. That's where we did all our baking at night, and yeah, just call ourselves the night baker. Very simple.
Interesting. So you guys would come back from your jobs and then just
Continue to work, pretty
continue to
much.
work. Was it
Yeah.
more like a hobby or more of just like experiment?
Yeah, so we just wanted, when we started this, we were just thinking like maybe we should just start a side gig just to do for ourselves, something fun. We weren't really thinking about if this would grow to something big. Like we just try it out, right? Just something fun. And then, so we would go and experiment. So actually, when we started with cookies, we were inspired by this famous bakery in New York. It's called Leanne Bakery. They make these huge chocolate chip walnut cookies that just blew up all over New York. It's one of the most famous, iconic cookies in the United States and I think in the world. And I think, and I do believe it's the company that started this cookie craze because at that time, maybe in 2017, like cookie companies weren't really a thing. Like I think at that time, Craig's Cookies might have had his pop-up store at Yorkdale, but there's nobody else really on the scene. And even in New York, I think like Crumble wasn't a thing. Like other cookie companies weren't really a thing.
Like solely just cookie wasn't a thing.
Yeah, it wasn't a thing. At that time, what was really hot was cupcakes. Because I don't know if you remember way back when, like there were really like different cupcake companies all around the US. In Toronto, we had a really big one called Prairie Girl Bakery. I think that's their name. But yeah, there was no real like signature cookie company yet. And then yeah, we just thought like, okay, maybe we can start in this space, and then we can do our own thing. Yeah, that's how I started.
So start as a side gig and an idea to just try something out.
Yeah, just try something out. It's just I think me and my wife Leanne, although this was our very first business, we just always had it in our mind of being an entrepreneur or just starting something for ourselves, right? Because it's a dream for a lot of people, right? To have your own thing, to be your own boss and things like that. But don't get me wrong, we had good jobs before. Like we had good jobs, and we didn't expect it to be to leave the previous profession to do this one. But it just so happened we were lucky that we had a good following. That yeah, back in 2019, where we had enough of a following and we saw that the feedback was really good and people were really enjoying our cookies, that we decided that yeah, we can start doing this full time.
How did you guys start? When did you guys start?
2017.
2017. And then you were just doing
Yeah, pop-ups.
pop-ups,
Yeah,
then
pop-ups.
markets,
Yeah,
and then
pop-ups.
2019 is when you first opened
Yeah,
the College
yeah.
Street location?
Yeah, College Street location. So 2017, our first pop-up was in Etobicoke in a small community center. And we just Googled, like, okay, where can we sell our cookies? Just Google it. Google the place. Like, okay, they're doing a fall market in Etobicoke. It's just like in this community center. Like, we've never sold anything in our lives before. Never, ever. So we went in that thing like, hey, we have these we only had 4 cookies back then. Okay, we have these 4 recipes. We've had our friends and family try them. They said it's pretty good. Of course, we don't know. We haven't had strangers try them before.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, we went in that event. I think we baked all night, to be honest, because like it was our first gig. I think we baked more than 200 cookies, and it was like, okay, let's just do it. So, in the morning, we went there, very little sleep. Had our like 6-foot folding table, had our little setup, and then yeah, we just set up there. And like, honestly, we're so nervous, so nervous. Like, we've never sold anything before, right? And of course, your friends and family will tell you like something is good, but you never really know.
But you think it's more biased because it's friends.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't know if it's actually gonna be good, right? So we're like, okay, what? So we were there, like, okay, so nervous, and the market opens, like, okay, and then I just remember our first customer was this little boy with his dad. It's like, okay, I want that. Okay. So he bought one of our cookies. It was the Campfire S'mores. Campfire S'mores is a double chocolate cookie with toasted marshmallow on top. That was our very first creation, and that was the little boy chose for his cookie, and he bought it. And then honestly, I was so nervous. Like okay, here you go.
Giving the cookie.
Yeah, give me, here you go, little boy. Like I was trying to be confident, right?
Yes,
I didn't
yes,
sound
yes.
like that. Like, okay, thank you. But inside, I was like, here you go, little boy. But then, and then I was watching. It's like, because nobody's ever tried our cookies before, like no stranger, right? He ate it. It's like, and you could see his eyes just light up. It's like, okay, okay,
We have something.
they have something. And then he bought more. And then later that day, so the event was supposed to be from, I think 11 to 5 or something like that. But then more people would come to the booth, and then they would buy our cookies, they would try, and then buy more. And then before we knew it, like more and more people came. It was a very small venue, by the way. So, but just by around 2 p.m., we were completely sold out. It's like, whoa.
Sold out on the first event.
Yeah, first event.
Wow.
And we were like, honestly, we were shocked. Like, whoa. And we didn't know what to do because we were out of cookies. And we're looking at the organizer like, we're sorry. So we're like, thank you, but I don't know what we can do now. We don't have any more stuff. But yeah, they let us pack up like soon after. But no, that was a great feeling. Like that first event, I never forget. The first little kid that tried our cookie, I never forget his face, like trying our cookies for the first time. Like that was the best. And then after that, we went to more events. So I remember like we just went to different events all around, just Googling wherever. And then, yeah, we tried one in like, we went for bigger venues. Like one of them there was one that they did at the Great Hall here on Queen Street.
Okay.
And there were a lot of small businesses there as well. And then, yeah, we just had our cookies there set up. And again, I think the event was supposed to be for 6 or 8 hours, sold out in 2 hours. Like, okay, next time we have to bring more.
And how much did you bring this time?
So around this time, we had around 500 now.
500. And it was just you and Leanne.
Yeah, just me and Leanne. So just
Right.
imagine. So if you can imagine that, just me and Leanne,
And this is after working your job too.
after
Coming
working our
home,
job, coming home.
making 500.
Yeah. So if you can imagine, we went home from our jobs, like the typical 9 to 5.
Yeah.
We'd have dinner, and then we'd start making our cookies at 8 p.m. For those events, for the 500 cookies, usually we finish at around 4 a.m. So it was not easy, man. It was not easy. We'd be there 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. And at 6, like at 6, I think we'd go home for a bit and then sleep and set up for the market.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy, man. But of course, also when we go there, and like, of course, we're always nervous. Like, okay, we make all this stuff, right? And we have nowhere to put them if we don't sell them.
Yeah.
But luckily, like especially the one at the Great Hall, again, the event was about for 6 hours or 8 hours. We sell out again at the same time within 2 hours. Like, oh shit, I think we have something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to bring more. The next event, I think we brought 800. We'd sell out like roughly 3 hours.
Wow.
And keep on doing the same thing. I think 800 was our capacity because it was just the two of us, right? We can't bake from 8 a.m. to 6, like 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. was our limit. We can't go more. That's it. Like that's it. And like we have to sleep.
Yeah.
So we did another one. There's this company called Toronto Market Co. And their events actually made us decide to go for it because they had these summer markets downtown right in front of Royal Bank Plaza. And yeah, we do the same setup. And theirs was a long day because we have to be there at 6 a.m. and the market finishes at 6 p.m.
So 12 hours? You have to be there for 12 hours?
Yeah, I have to be there for 12 hours. And so we'd set up, right? We'd have our cookies. So bring our 800 cookies there. And then usually by around 2 p.m., like all gone, like all the time. So we're like, okay. And then we'd sell out because that was our max, right? 2 p.m. and sell out at 12 noon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I think we really have something. Like maybe we can go for it. So yeah, so after that, it was just a leap of faith. We just decided like fuck it, like let's just go for it.
Open a location?
Yeah, open a location. So we quit our jobs. Like I said, before quitting your job to pursue your passion was cool. During COVID, We actually did it already. So before this, like quit your job, start a bakery business, um, it was a big risk for us, to be honest, because like I said, we had like good paying jobs, like well paying jobs, and if people don't know, having your own business doesn't necessarily mean making a lot of money, especially at the start.
It's just constant stress.
It's constant stress. You're making much less money. But yeah, thankfully, it has worked out so far. Like fast forward, but yeah, it was just a leap of faith, and then yeah, we just tried it out. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Well, look at you, six years later.
Ah, look at me, man. But but on the flip side, um, there is this like special feeling because you're your own boss, right? And there's
You created something.
yeah, you created something. You created something from scratch. You created something that you make with your hands. You share with people, and you're feeding people, and they really like it, and they really love your stuff. And you can't describe that feeling, right? It's something very, very special. Honestly, even though like we're not making as much money as we were before, like I would not trade it for anything. Like I would still do this 100 out of 100 times. Like the connections we've built with people, seeing it never gets old when we share our cookies. And you like whenever we have markets like the ones we do with like we went with you guys, right? I usually like take a sneak peek, like whenever they bite, like I take a look. And when you see that their face like lights up and they're smiling when they're having our cookies, like man, there's no feeling like it. So yeah.
Are you always still nervous when you go to events?
Oh yeah, of course, man. Of
Now,
course.
now I think what you bring like 1,000, 2,000.
Yeah, it's usually it depends on the event, but usually our baseline is 1,000 cookies, but
Per day.
per day. Usually, but like sometimes we go over 2,000.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, like some of like the event we did before in Mississauga, I think we were close to 3,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because yeah, it was crazy.
That's a lot of driving back and
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I would just always see you come in,
Yeah,
load,
with the cart.
and then you go away. Like, oh, where's Mitch?
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming back.
Yeah,
you see you
yeah.
at the end of the night. Oh, here you go, load again.
Yeah, yeah. No. That was a lot because like we're very simple and humble business. Like I drive a Honda Civic. Like of course, as a business, just have to keep your costs
As low as possible.
as low as possible. So I still drive my 2009 Honda Civic, and that's the car I use to transport thousands of cookies. Just imagine fitting 1,000 cookies in a Honda Civic. So that's what I do every market. So yeah, it just depends on the market, and I always get nervous, honestly, because we bake our cookies fresh every day. So if we can't sell them, like thankfully some food, like there were food banks that accept them, or we can donate them. Like we've donated them before to, like there was a nurses association that asked us for some cookies. We were able to donate cookies to them, to the nurses. We always used to donate to the Parkdale Community Food Bank right here. And now we have something called Too Good to Go. So
Yes.
yeah, the app Too Good to Go. So we put at least our cookies don't go to waste, because that hurts me the most is if we made something, we can't sell it and nobody's gonna eat it. Like throwing it away is like will hurt me the most out of everything. So I am always nervous, to be honest. And thankfully, usually it works out. Usually it works out.
6 years later, having running 3 stores now, what was your biggest challenge that you learned early on that helped you be so successful today?
Man, am I successful? Anyway, so I think the biggest lesson early on, you have to standardize your operations. That's the most important thing. Standardize how you make the cookies, how you serve the cookies, how you package everything, even how you talk to customers and things like that. Standardization is number one. Because when you have multiple locations now, like we do, people expect you to be consistent
Yes.
with all locations. Like if you're buying from our Danforth store, they want the experience and the cookie quality to be the same as when they're buying from our original college one or when they're buying from our newest North York one. So you have to standardize everything. So a lot of the things that we do with our bakers right now is our training is so important. I know some places where when they get new people, they immediately just put you in the fire, no training, things like that. But to us, usually for 2 days, you're not doing anything. For the first day, you're shadowing someone, making sure you're watching, asking questions, and you're looking at how they're making stuff, how they're serving customers, how they're doing everything. On the second day, you have someone shadowing you so that when you're serving customers, when you're rolling the cookies or making the cookie dough, when you're mixing, when you're measuring, you have someone there that you can ask immediately, like if you have a question, things like that. Like standardization and operations is the most important thing for me. And the other part is the most important part of the business is the people. Like having really good people around you with your business is the most important. That's why now, like when you're hiring people, I'm always so careful. Like they, like your personalities have to match. As most important thing is, you have to know that this person has a really good work ethic and has a really good vibe to share with the store. Because right now, like there's really good harmony with our teams at our stores, right? And you don't want to break it. And so it's really important for me to have really good, hardworking people that's willing to help out everybody, and that's sort of how I am with them, and that's how I expect everybody is with everybody else at our company. Is you just have to be very friendly and respectful, and willing to help out your fellow coworkers at all times. So yeah.
Question for you, because at a previous episode, I was talking to one of my friends, and we're debating we're talking on the topic of hiring.
Yeah.
Hiring and firing.
Yeah.
For you, do you look more towards what they have on the resume, or do you base it more on the actual interview, like their personality type, who they are?
So for me personally, I look at their resume just for the basics. So to me, the only important part of a resume is because we have a bakery, right?
Yeah.
So as long as you have any food experience, like working anywhere in food, like previous bakery, or not even like fast food, like Tim Hortons or something like that, like or McDonald's even, that's good enough for me. As long as, because it's really important for you to have that background that of what entails a food business, because you have people that want to work at a bakery, but they don't know half of the things you're doing is cleaning, like cleaning dishes, sweeping and mopping the floor.
Fun stuff.
Like that. Yeah, fun stuff. And people don't know that because it's like some people, they have it glamorized. Like baking is like also glamorous because you see these things on the Food Network and you have these like posh kitchens, but half of the stuff, you're just making sure that everything is sanitary, everything is good so that you don't make anybody sick. Like that's the most important thing for us. So you're doing a lot of cleaning and washing hands. So to me, number one is on your resume. As long as you have that, that's good. But what gets you in is the interview, because that's when I can actually tell, like, okay, is this guy just bullshitting me, or because some people
do lie on their resumes. Yeah, they just
Yeah.
write whatever they want.
Yeah. So some people and you can sort of catch the vibe, right? Like you can tell, like, oh, because I'm very honest with the interviews. I explain to them, like, this is the work, this is what you do, and sometimes, like most of the time, they're okay with it. But sometimes you see them like their body language changes, like they're shifting on their seat. Like, oh, I have to do what? Like throw garbage? Or what? I have to sweep and mop the floor? What? Like, this is food industry. You have to do all of that, right?
It's expected.
It's expected. And when I see that, like, okay, nah, it's not a good fit. Because I really, honestly, I just try to hire hardworking and kind-hearted and nice people. Like, as long as you're that, like, that's good enough. But sometimes you can see, like, oh, they don't really want this work. Like, once they realize what the work actually entails, like, you can tell they don't really want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just wanted a job, but now they know what it is.
Yeah. And they're too afraid to tell you, or they too afraid to tell themselves. So I just make it easy for them and just not hire them. So
Makes sense.
yeah.
I'm sure you had in business many times of decision making, fear of making the wrong call, making the right call. What would you say throughout your whole experience so far has been the toughest decision that you had to make?
The toughest one for sure is whenever we if I'm being honest, is whenever we're letting people go, like for whatever reason, like because honestly, me and Leanne, we treat our employees like family, and um, in these moments where we've had to like part ways with someone, it was really heartbreaking. Like you see, like Donald Trump, like he glamorized like firing people, right? In the show, like you're fired, and people think it's like a huge power trip. Like, but for me, whenever, because I'm the like you like usually talk, I usually handle the people side of things in our company, and whenever like I've talked to these people and let people go, man, honestly, I feel like I feel so drained. The whole day is just like, oh man, this is the worst day ever. Like it's the opposite. Like on the movies and TV shows, you see people like with bosses firing people, right? It's like a huge rush and power trip. To me, it's like the most draining thing. And like whenever we've had to do something like that, it's like the worst thing ever, to be honest. So that's one thing. Is like to me, that's the hardest part of the job. Is like if for some reason or another, and we've had to part ways, like that's the hardest part. Number one. The second hardest is like I think whenever we've expanded, so because we have our first store here in college, right?
Yes.
It takes so much effort, time, and capital to open the new store, and you never really know if it's gonna work out, right? So we we do our best to study, like to make some projections, to study if we're gonna do well or things like that. But you never really know, right? So like deciding on our second store and our third store, that was tough because again, a huge chunk of our like capital,
But I just
like
went to opening it.
yeah, just opening again, and you're always hopeful for the best that it'll work out, but you never really know, right? So thankfully so far it has, but that was tough. Like are we gonna do this again? Because
All the training, all the hiring,
yeah, exactly.
redesigning everything.
Yeah, no, exactly. It was really tough. Like especially in our North York store,
The most recent one.
the most recent one. That was the one of the toughest openings because it got delayed so much with the permits. So I don't know what happened with this one, but like before we'd apply for a business permit and things like that, we'd get it like relatively short time.
Uh-huh.
This one, it got delayed by months. Like we we hired people already thinking that based on experience, right? We've had two stores before. So we already have like a timeline in mind, like, okay, we should hire people at this time
To get them ready for
to get them
when we
ready for when
it
they open.
during this,
Yeah, because we anticipated like, okay, we're gonna get a permit at this point, so we should hire people right now. But what ended up happening was our permit got delayed for so long, so we started paying rent. Rent in North York is not cheap.
Oh, and you still have to pay rent.
We have to pay rent. Our store can't open. And I know some food businesses are terrible for this, where they train people and they don't pay them. We don't do that. So there's a specific term for that. I don't even know what it is, but we don't do that at the Night Baker. So we had our full staff for the North York store come to our Danforth or college store for training. We pay, all of their shifts are paid, and we can't open. So it's like, and some of them had to leave their previous job to join us. So I'm like, I can't cut your shifts because it feels so bad if I do, because if I do, you left your previous job to join us, and now I'm gonna tell you, oh, you can't have work right now.
Yeah.
Like it's so hard, right? So that was tough because it was just money out that whole time, and for the first time ever, like the cash funds of the Night Baker was going low to something we were not comfortable with, and we're like, oh shit, we have to do something. But thankfully, finally, I don't know for what miracle, we received our permit. Once we did that, we had to call the health inspector because of course we can't open without the health inspection. One day later, health inspection, and then like that was our most rushed opening. One day after that, without any notice, we opened.
Without any notice.
Like no publicity.
Yeah, no advertising, no saying
Nothing.
anything.
Nothing. Just on social media. We're
Hey,
opening
we're
tomorrow.
open.
Yeah, opening tomorrow. That's it. So we didn't like ideally, of course, like you'd reach out to influencers, reach out to whatever media who wants to cover you. So let them know, hey, we're opening a store at this time, just to let you know. So that of course they want, if they wanted to cover you, they cover you, right? For publicity. At zero. Nothing of that. So we were so scared. We were so scared, right? But we had no choice because even though we wanted to delay to put the word out, we needed to sell cookies immediately because we was just money out all the
Yeah.
time. So I think what we did was we just put, okay, we're opening tomorrow. And then I think we said, okay, I don't know if it was that weekend or the weekend after, we'll have a soft opening special. I think we just give a discount, like, just come. So we were like, oh, is this enough? Like, we were just like, oh, damn. But thankfully, first day, I think for that whole weekend, we had the soft opening. Man, we were lined out the door.
Oh wow.
Like people, I haven't posted it on social media yet, but I have a camera on the store. It's just constantly, like, time lapse of people just coming in and out,
Yeah.
coming in and out, coming out. Like
It's just
constantly,
always the lines there.
always alive throughout the day. Like, oh my God, like, thank you. So, because, yeah, like, we were just so thankful for all our followers because we had no media coverage. Like, I honestly, I get so jealous when I see other cookie companies and I see like other media or people covering them. Like, they get so much exposure, right? But for us, we don't get that. But I was still felt so thankful. Like, oh man, I'm so thankful for all our followers because even despite not having any media coverage, like, our opening was so, like, went beyond what we expected. It was even though with 1 day notice, it was our best opening ever. Like,
Really?
even compared to our college store, our Danforth store, 1 day notice, that was our best opening ever. So yeah,
What do you think made it so busy?
I think
Location?
Location.
The surprise?
yeah, I think it was location. I think number one is location because the reason why we chose that place is because we've done markets in that area at Melasman Square. So we knew we had a good following in that area already in North York because now we're closer to North York, we're closer to Thornhill, Richmond Hill, at least Markham is a
all
little
the
closer.
east side area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The northern part is closer to us now. And we just got really good word of mouth, like really great word of mouth from all of our followers.
I mean, your cookies are amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Because, yeah, I just checked our Instagram and our TikTok, and I just looked at the engagement and the engagement of people commenting and sharing. Just that post of we're opening soon just was like one of our
TikTok.
best. Yeah. So it's just like very, very thankful and grateful for all like our supporters and word of mouth. And yeah, that was it. Yeah. So
Well, I'm glad you had such a successful opening. After that traumatizing, scary delay.
no, it was scary. Like, I honestly, it got to a point where me and Leanne were thinking like, oh shit, I think we have to take out some extra bank loans because we need to pay our employees, right? But thankfully, we didn't need to do that. But yeah, it was getting scary. Like, it was coming to that point.
How long has it been open now? The most recent one, North York?
November. So we've
November.
been open for 3, coming on 4 months now.
Coming on 4 months?
Yeah.
Out of your 3 locations, which one is the busiest? The one you always go to?
Oh, I always go to the Danforth.
The
one.
Danforth one?
That one is our main one. It's the biggest one.
Biggest one.
It's our busiest one. Because I think at the Danforth we're lucky because a lot of the neighborhood there, they actually shop at the local stores and they walk around in the area. Like, a lot of them like walking, like for leisure, just walk around the area.
So you guys have a lot of foot traffic.
Yeah,
right?
foot traffic there has been excellent. But North York one has been really good. During Christmas time, North York one was the busiest. Yeah, so I think especially we always open on Christmas Eve. The sales for North York alone was more than the Danforth and the college combined
For that day?
for that day.
That is crazy.
It was crazy, and the store is so small. Like, if you see you've been to our college one,
I've been to your college, yes. Is it smaller than that one?
it's less than half that. It's so
Where do you guys bake and do everything then?
So our how we positioned all of the appliances is so like specific.
Is it just like one row then?
It's just like it's a one small square space. So you have a refrigerator, a freezer, an oven, a table, and a dishwashing sink. That's it.
Okay.
And then the front area is just display of cookies. That's it. It's so small. Like it's less than half of our college one. And imagine that they were churning out so many cookies for that one day, and it was more than the two other stores combined. It's crazy. So
That is a lot of work for the workers.
no kidding.
Oh
No,
my
I was thanking them after, like, thank you so much. I appreciate your hard work. But yeah, no, it was crazy. No,
So you run this business with your wife, Leanne, right?
Mhm.
How has working with your wife in business been?
Honestly, I'm lucky because I think me and Leanne have the similar mindset. We just connect. Our vibes are good. Like we connect. We understand each other in regards to business. And our work ethic, I think, is the same with each other. So we always know the other person's working hard. But I will say it wasn't the easiest, especially at the beginning, because it was hard at the start when we were just figuring things out and we didn't have defined roles yet.
Yes.
So we didn't have proper expectations with one another. Like sometimes I'd expect like, hey, did you do this already? And it wasn't done. Just she was expecting me to do it, like things like that. And there was a lot of frustration, to be honest, because I like for the business, right? I'm never personal about anything, but I'm also very frank and direct. Like if I see you're not doing something the best way, I will tell you. Like I would tell you, I won't sugarcoat it. Like, hey, I think we should be doing it this way, or you should be doing it this way. And Leanne didn't appreciate at the start me being so direct with her, because I never explained it to her, right, that I was that way. And at the start, like some things I could tell she was taking personally about some of my feedback, and I had to adjust, of course. And some of the things, like her frustrations, were frustrating me. And of course, and then we have this, right? And then we have to go home together,
Yeah.
which is terrible.
So you guys work together and go home together.
Yeah. So which is
24/7.
terrible. Yeah. So it was a lot of like that. And at the start, and this is a lot of my fault too, is whenever I'm into something, I'm all like 100% in.
You're all in.
All the time too. I'm always like tuned in all the time. And at the beginning, that wasn't healthy because we'd be lying in bed before sleeping, and I'd be like, "Hey, Leanne, do you think we should do this for the night baker?" I would be like constantly giving her ideas and asking for feedback and things like that. Like, hey, I think we should start this flavor, or I think we should do. Of course, she is trying to relax and sleep, and I'm constantly like
talking about
work, right? And nobody wants that, but I'm so into it that at that time I didn't realize it. So I had to adjust. Like both of us have had to adjust. So the first thing we did to improve things was we now set clear roles for ourselves. Like Leanne is like the big boss. Like this is our hierarchy. Leanne is the big boss. She's the one who makes all the final decisions. She's the one who curates our menu and everything, and she does most of the admin back end work.
Back end.
Like talking to our corporate partners, talking to like any special orders, our couriers, our suppliers, and everything like that. She's also doing like bookkeeping, accounting, and making sure like everybody gets paid. Like that's all the back end stuff, and like communicating through everybody. So when people email the night baker, they're actually talking to Leanne.
Oh, so when I emailed, I was talking to Leanne?
Oh no, you emailed. Oh yeah, originally you did. So when you emailed the info one, you were talking to Leanne. And she just like, hey, do you know this person?
Because I'm like, I emailed. I'm like, I hope I'm talking to Mitch.
No, you were talking to Leanne. It's okay.
I had to put the picture so you remember.
Yeah. I remember you guys, but you were talking to Leanne, and she had to tell me about your podcast. And then that's why eventually I switched to my personal one, because the info one is Leanne's email.
Okay.
Anyway, and then for me, my role now continues to be, I'm the day-to-day operations guy, and I'm also like the manager to everybody. So all the human resources stuff, anything that all of our bakers or employees need, they come to me. So any day-to-day operations, any ingredients that we need or lacking, or anything operations, anything you see day-to-day from the night baker, that's me. So it was really important for us when we separated those roles, and that's when we had like, okay, better expectations for one another.
Because now you know what you guys should be
Yeah,
doing.
yeah. And then for me, when Leanne communicated to me that day, you should not be talking to me about work when we're about to sleep. So I had to consciously turn myself off. About turn it off, like turn the business,
Turn the
turn-
business dial off.
yeah, dial to zero. So now, I think for the past few years, I've been a lot better. Now, when we got home, especially where we're in bed, even though I have an idea, like, nope, just write it on your phone, talk about it tomorrow.
Talk about it tomorrow.
Like even during dinner time, like I don't talk about business anymore. Like this is our time to like de-stress, our time for ourselves and relax. So yeah, just improvements like that.
Nice.
But honestly, I would say working with your partner is not for everyone.
It's definitely tough.
Yeah,
I can see how,
yeah.
because the amount of stress, especially starting a business together,
Yeah.
is very tough in itself. Just starting in general, but starting with now with your partner, now you gotta. That's a different navigation you guys have to work towards.
Yeah, because marriage itself, it has its own stresses, right? On top of that, you add the business. Like, oh man. But no, I've been lucky. Like Leanne has been so supportive and so understanding. I think we support each other really well. So we've been lucky.
You guys also have I think I saw on social media. You guys have a kid now.
Yeah, we have a kid now. So Alon is now 14 months.
What was his name?
Alon,
Alon.
like the wave in Filipino.
Ah,
Yeah,
Alon.
so he's now 14 months, and that was a challenge in itself. So I think that was one of the biggest challenges for me personally the past year, and for Leanne, I'm sure, is taking care of our baby, right? Because now she has to stay home most of the time to take care of the baby, and some of the work that she used to help me with for day to day, I have to do now. So before, when she could stay at our store, help out in the bakery wherever they need. Now I have to do all of that. On the flip side, it's not the easiest taking care of a baby boy.
No, it's definitely
So
not.
she's doing that by herself too. So we're both tired. And honestly, physically, it hasn't been the best, but of course, having our beautiful baby boy, I wouldn't trade it for anything. But yeah.
How do you guys manage your time, running a business and your marriage, and now?
Yeah, so for me now, it just has to be a conscious effort of time management. And like I said, turning the dial to zero when you get home. It's very important because that's family time. It's not business time, it's family time. Unless there's something important we need to do, you don't talk about business anymore. So I have to schedule myself. Like I have to tell her, like, hey, because in the mornings it's hard, right? So we have to feed the baby, you have to take care of the baby,
Yeah.
entertain the baby because our baby's so clingy.
Entertain the baby.
No, it's a real thing because our baby, maybe you can leave him for 30 minutes on his own, right? And then he starts to notice, like, hey, why is no one within 2 feet of me? And he starts to scream at us, like, where is everybody? He doesn't say that, but he's
projecting it.
yeah, like he learns. He has some words now, so he's saying karga, like carry in Filipino, like karga.
Like carry me.
Yeah, carry me. And it's a lot of it's a lot of stress for Leanne if she has to do that, right? Because she's always so busy. Because even though she's at home, I see her all the time on her laptop. Like she's always emailing, she's always doing something. Because it's a lot of work running a business, like the admin side of it. And so in the morning, I have to tell her like, hey, I have to leave by this time, but I give her some time for herself, just to do some part of our business for her own. And then I play with Alan or take care of him. And then like, okay, I really have to leave now. Then I go and then I drive for 3 to 4 hours every day to visit our bakery. So it's very, very tiring. I drive 3 to 4 hours every day and I spend a few hours at our locations too.
So every single day you drive 3 hours and you go to every single location.
Yeah.
And spend some time there.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah. So it's most important for me. So usually I spend a lot more time at our Danforth one because it's our biggest one. And that's where our large orders are. And that's where most of the things like happen where they need my help. But I make it a point to talk to each of our bakers every day. Like, because it's really important to me that our employees or our bakers, that they feel supported. Like that's the number one thing for me.
And then they know that you're there for them.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's really important. Like and it's not lip service. Like I will ask them like, how's their day? How are they doing? Like I really want to know like, what do you need from me? What can I do for you? So each and every time I go to every location, I make it a point. I'm talking to everybody.
That's above and beyond.
Because these are employees. They're helping us fulfill our dream, right? So it's just my way of giving back to them. So like a little bit of my time is nothing compared to how much help they're giving us. So
Yeah.
so even though it's a lot of work and a lot of time, I want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have how many flavors do you guys have now?
We have right now over 90.
Over 90.
Yeah, over 90. Yeah.
And
And it's
then-
growing. It's growing.
You were explaining to me in the video that we at the store, but could you reiterate and say how you guys lay out your menu?
Oh yeah, sure. So right now we have 6 flavors that we always have on menu, and those are usually our most popular ones. That's why they're always on menu. So our most popular one is the ube one, the purple yam of the Philippines, and the coco pandan, which is also Filipino flavor.
My favorite one.
Yeah, and then I think the next popular one is actually they're all popular. The milk and Oreos one, the campfire s'mores, which is our original, very first cookie, and then the matcha pistachio white chocolate, which is the pistachio. And then we'd usually have about, I'd say about 4 to 8 different secret menu items, what we call it. Is these are the flavors that are on rotation, and we have them on menu for about 3 to 6 weeks at a time. And yeah, we just change it up depending on what the season is. For example, we just came from Valentine's Day. We had some Valentine's specials that are now, like most of them have left our menu. We just have one left, which is the hot lava one, just the gochujang chocolate one. But now we're going into International Women's Day. So we have a cookie we always have for that called the Pink Lady, which is a almond cookie with a rose cream filling. And then for Easter, we have specials. For Mother's Day, we have some specials again. So it really depends on the season. The most exciting month for me is June, which is Filipino Heritage Month. And these are the flavors that all of our secret menu items are all Filipino cookies. So in June, these are our most creative cookies. And I think these are the ones that represent us the most. I feel like these are the ones that share a bit about ourselves the most to people. And yeah, very creative menu.
You said how much do you have on the secret menu every time?
About 4 to 8.
4 to 8?
Yeah. So at any point in time, you'll always have about 10
10 or more?
to 14 cookies
10 to
on our menu.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when do they come back in rotation?
Typically, we only have a cookie for once a year. So once a year for 3 weeks, you'll have this cookie. That's it. But if it's a really popular one, we'll maybe have it back twice a year. So for example, the cinnamon bun cookie we have right now, that's a really popular one. We'll have it for about 3 to 4 weeks right now. And then since it's based off of my Thanksgiving recipe for cinnamon buns, we always have it for Thanksgiving again.
as well.
So in October, it's coming back. But for something like the hot lava, for example, that's only for Valentine's Day. You won't see it again until next year. Or we have this flavor called the Ooey Gooey oatmeal cookie, which I think is the best oatmeal cookie in the world. We only have that in November. A lot of people look for that cookie throughout the year, but we only have it in November.
So you guys, once you miss it
Yeah.
in that year, you'll
That's
never
it.
see it.
That's it.
You'll never see it until
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
you've been in the business for 6 years now. If you could start over again from scratch, what is one thing you would do differently this time?
I think I would go into TikTok faster.
Go into TikTok faster.
Yeah.
So
'cause-
social media in general?
Yeah, social media in general. Because I think we were a little, not to say complacent, but we just weren't aware, to be quite honest. Because when we started our business, we were just on Instagram. And Instagram was great for us. Like it built our following, things like that. And we were so busy and we were getting some success already that we never really paid attention to anything else. Like we'd be satisfied because I saw our engagement there was good, everything was good, right? But I didn't realize that now a lot of people migrated to TikTok, and that's where a lot of people consume their social media.
Yeah.
And it's such a big platform, right? And we just never got into it. It's only now that we're really starting to get into it with help our social media manager. But if I were to give myself advice is, yeah, at the jump, go on TikTok.
Go on social media.
Go on social media, go on TikTok specifically, because that's where a lot of people now, that's where most of the audience is, because that's where people scroll, that's where people find stuff.
Yeah.
It's the most impactful right now. But otherwise, like the mistakes we made before, it's part of the growing pains.
It's part of the journey.
Yeah, it's part of the journey. So it's part of learning. That's the only thing is just go into TikTok and buy some Bitcoin.
All right, well, I'll take that advice. Take that advice into Kubo tea.
6 years ago, buy your Bitcoin.
Go into TikTok. So when did you only just recently, quote unquote, started more into the social media side?
Yeah. So
Before that, it was just a little bit of Instagram, but it was. How did you mainly advertise, or was it more through word of mouth?
it was just word of mouth, to be honest. And we were, I guess, I don't know if we were content because we had good sales and a good following.
Yeah.
So we were pretty content. I think that's the only thing is I feel like we could reach a larger audience for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I in my most humble opinion, I know our cookies are good. I know they're good. It's just a matter of reaching more people. I think that's what we're trying to do right now, especially now that we have 3 stores, because we're now employing more people and we're responsible for more people, right? And we have to make sure that the business continues to grow. And in order to do that is we have to reach a larger audience.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of our mistake is that we never really paid attention to TikTok before. And honestly, because I have a computer engineering background and some IT background, and I always didn't want to have TikTok on my phone because of all the spying or the alleged data information.
Alleged data leaking.
Yeah, data leaking, right? So I never wanted it. I never wanted anything to do with it. But then it's so important for business now. Like we're still trying to catch up in that point. So we started, I think we hired our first TikTok specific media manager maybe last year or a year and a half ago, just to get us caught up because like I don't have it on my phone and I have no expertise in it. Like, of course, if you want to be like, for me, if you want to be successful in something, like just ask someone or ask help from someone that knows more about that specific topic than you. So we hired a social media manager and she did help us with our TikTok before, but we never really sustained it. And now we're still trying to grow our audience there. So yeah, it's just that. So yeah, like the biggest cookie company in the world, Crumble, that's how they built their following. Is just on TikTok. Because they figured out right away that this is how people consume their social media, and they just went on it. And for the longest time, Crumble was the only cookie company in the world that was verified by TikTok. That's how they grew.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's how they grew their audience. It's just through TikTok.
I definitely gotta focus more on TikTok.
Yeah, man. No, really. Like, how do you guys advertise?
Mainly just Instagram.
Instagram, yeah, man. Yeah. Like, but that's the thing. With TikTok, it's so hard because I don't know anything about the algorithm there.
That's the thing too, because even though I am in this generation,
yeah.
I don't like using social media, and I never really grew up as like posting or consuming that much.
Yeah.
So, right when COVID started, that's when I deleted all my social medias, and I haven't been on it.
It's healthy.
It's healthy, yes, it's healthy. I haven't been on it until just recently when I started this podcast, and I started looking at it like daily now. I'm like, I'm back on this, but learning it, trying to figure it out. But I was never really, what's the word? Super into or understood social media like.
Yeah, no, I understand too. Like, I am the same way because for the longest time, I was our social media manager, right? Like solely just me. And I think from a business point of view, like I hear of people having problems with social media, like of body dysmorphia or something like that.
Okay.
Like you see something like that, right? For me, my body dysmorphia or anxiety comes from business. Because I look at TikTok or I look at Instagram and I see all these other businesses like having such great engagement. Like, wow, they're doing so well. Wow, like, and that makes me think, why can't I do that? I'm doing everything wrong now. Like everything is so, like everything I'm doing is wrong. Because I'm seeing on social media like, well, everybody else seems to be doing so well, while we're just us, and it gives me such anxiety. So I completely understand. And if I had a choice, I would not be on Instagram as much as I am. Honestly, because it gives me so like it makes me feel so bad.
Yeah.
Like it gives me so much anxiety every day. But I have to do this in order for our business to survive. So it is what it is, right?
It
But
is. It is part of the business or the work.
yeah, yeah, it's part of the work, and it's something I have to suck up. I just have to suck it up. But honestly, to me, that's one of the hardest parts. Is like I have to be on these platforms so much, just so I know our business, our cookies can get out there.
Yeah.
People can discover it, right? So it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But ideally, I would love to be off social media.
Oh man, me too. Oh my
I would
God.
love to be off. That way, I'm not automatically comparing myself to other people.
No, exactly. Like, cause I'm always comparing myself. Okay, like if I'm being honest, of course I'm envious of other businesses, especially when I see like influencers or media outlets covering them, because I feel like our cookies are just as good as any out there. Like they're all different, they're all good in their own way, but I know ours is just as good, maybe. But then I feel so like envious and I feel so small whenever I see like, for example, the biggest one right now is Andrea's Cookies. Craig's Cookies has been around for a while. Crumble's always been there. And I see like different media outlets always covering them. And I don't know if they're paid or not, right? Like who knows? But and I always get so envious, like, how come we're not getting this exposure? Like, does that mean our cookies suck? Like I always feel this bad, right? But then I just like, no, no, no. Like talking to our customers, talking to people who try our cookies. I know they're good, but whenever I see these things from other companies, like it really like makes me feel anxious. So
Yeah, the feeling of when is it gonna be my turn?
yeah, no, exactly. So it is what it is, man.
But it's part of the journey.
Yeah.
Just be patient,
Yeah.
waiting for the right time to come,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it is what it is.
and just believing that you, in your case, have a good product, which you do. You have an amazing product. That's why people always come in. That's why you have 3 stores, right?
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, that's what it is.
All right, final questions. You ready, Mitch? If you could sum up your entire journey, the whole entire Nightbreaker journey, in just one sentence, what would it be?
I think in one sentence, it really is eat cookie, be happy, man. No, honestly. No, because if there's one defining thing I love the most about the Night Baker is the fact that we get to share something we make.
Uh-huh.
That's the happiest. It's something also very Filipino, right? In Filipino culture, we love to share our food. Like that's such a big thing. Like I know, like for myself personally, growing up in the Philippines, whenever, for example, you go to lunch, you're at school and you go to lunch, someone always tells you kain. Like they're telling you kain. Like they're sharing their food, even though they don't really mean it, or maybe no, they do mean it, but maybe you're not going to take them up. They know you're not going to take them up on that offer, but they're always going to offer their food to you. So I think that's something very inherently Filipino is sharing your food and seeing people enjoy it. That's like one of the biggest joys, me personally as a Filipino. And that's something we get to do every day at the Night Baker, which is something so special. So that's why, even though it's very cheesy, because it's our slogan, but no, it's eat cookie, be happy.
Eat cookie, be happy.
Yeah. Or share cookie, be happy. Maybe it's the most appropriate. Yeah.
Very simple
Yeah.
slogan.
Yeah.
Final question, you ready?
Yeah.
What is your definition of success?
So success to me is, because honestly, to me personally, right now, I want to keep doing what I'm doing forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know where I'm at, and this is where I want to be. Like, if I can just have the night baker forever and not worry about money, I don't even need to be rich. I just need to be able to
do what you do.
Do what I do, pay the bills, and do what I do. Make sure all of our employees are paid. That's good enough for me. I think, to me, that's because success is a hard thing to.
It's different for everyone.
It's different for everybody, right? Because to me, ultimate success is happiness. That's number one. Like, as if you're happy with your life, you're already successful. Because, material things don't mean anything to me.
They come and go.
Yeah, they come and go, right? Like, I'm happy with my family. I'm really happy with the people who I work with at the Night Baker, and I'm really happy with what I do. And I think as long as I'm able to still do all of these things and not worry about money, I think that's success. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. All right.
That's all the questions for me.
Okay. All right. Clapping in the background. All right. Thanks, man. No, thanks for having me.
No worries. Thank you for reaching back to me.
No. This is amazing. No, all the best to you guys. I wish to see you again.
We'll see you in the summertime.
Let's see me in the
Definitely
summertime. For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Is there any final questions, comments, concerns, shout-outs you want to say?
No. Just keep doing what you're doing. No, I'm really happy to be part of this. It's really important for me to always support fellow business owners, small business owners. Like, I wish you all the success. So yeah.
Thank you, Mitch.
No, thank you.
All right. That's about it. To those who have tuned in and stayed to the very end, we appreciate you for listening in today. We thank you for your time. If you haven't already, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And until then, my friends, take care. That's about it.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Perfect.
Thanks, man. No, this was fun.